Hey guys, it's Alora, and today I want to talk about my favorite books of 2016. Now, I narrowed down this list to 5 books. I read a total of 87 books in 2016. 2 of them were rereads, so technically my Goodreads says I read 85 books, but it's not true. You can't say that you've read it twice. Anyway, today I want to talk about the best 5 and then a couple little bonus reads, so let's just go ahead and get started. My number 5th favorite book of the year was The Sleeper and the Spindle by Neil Gaiman, illustrated by Chris Riedel. This book was so beautiful. It really was nostalgic for me because it had a very fairy tale feel, and the illustrations were black and white, absolutely gorgeous. I couldn't get over it. I loved it so much. So number 5 for the year, The Sleeper and the Spindle. I do want to mention that I did read The Ocean at the End of the Lane also this year, and I really think that Neil Gaiman has a very fantastical writing style. That book didn't do it for me as much as this one, though. This one had that fairy tale vibe, which I love. My 4th favorite book of the year was Mastering Your Mean Girl by Melissa Ambrosini. This book I talked about a lot in my top self-empowerment book for women, or books for women video that I did a few months back. I really loved this. I felt like it was organized in such a way that it was actually a very helpful self-improvement book, and there were lots of activities to do, and it just felt like it made sense the way that it was put together, and she felt really like a big sister and just had a really good vibe. So I would recommend this one absolutely, especially if you're a woman. Coming in at number 3 is Milk and Honey, a poetry collection by Rupi Kaur. I don't have this one with me right now, so I'm just going to do a cutaway to my apartment at university, and I'm going to talk about it there. So, see you in a minute. So I just brought the books back here, so the cutaway is actually in front of the same background. But the book that I was mentioning was Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur, and this is a poetry collection. There are 4 parts to this poetry collection, which I think is what makes it especially powerful. There's the hurting, the loving, the breaking, and the healing. And so 2 of these parts are heartbreaking, and 2 of them are really full of hope. Rupi accompanies her poetry with little illustrations that she's done here, which I think definitely adds to the collection, especially some of them. As you can see, I have a lot of little post-it notes in here because I have some favorites, quite a few favorites from this collection. This poetry collection is essentially feminist, but I think that everyone should read it, and everyone would benefit from it and would definitely take away important pieces of information about just humanity and being kind to one another and ultimately choosing love. Anyway, that sounds really cheesy, but it was very well done, very emotionally evocative. I would definitely recommend Milk and Honey. Alright, so my 2nd favorite book of the year, and it was really hard for me to put this one in 2nd place because it's so well done, is A Little Life by Hana Yanagihira. Wow, this book was heavy. It was really something else. It was so well done and very long, so it took a lot of time to read. This book follows 4 protagonists. They're all friends in college, I think, roughly college age. They're about 20-25 when the book starts, and it follows them for the next 40 years, how their lives continue to intertwine. This book is about friendship, it's about love, it's about abuse, it's about disability. It was so well done, and I can't wait to read more of Hanya Yanagihira's work. It didn't win the Man Booker Prize, but it was a finalist for the Man Booker Prize a couple years back, and it was just incredibly powerful, very emotionally evocative. I felt sickened at times when I read it. It had a very, very visceral effect on me. I felt physically like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening, but it was written so well and handled so gracefully that I just can't get over it. So this is my 2nd favorite book of the year. What then could possibly be number 1, you may be asking? And the answer to that is a crowd favorite, and that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Miss Sarah J. Maas. I love Sarah J. Maas. I really enjoy all of her fantasy books. But this one was something else, let me tell you. Whew! It was like, it was really mature in content, so I wouldn't recommend it if you're a young teen, depending on, you know, what you're comfortable with or what your parents are comfortable with. But, you know, I'm in my 20s, so it's okay. This book was really well done. I really liked where it was going, and I don't want to give any spoilers because it's the second book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, and the reason why I'm not holding it up and showing it to you right now is because I listened to it on audiobook, which I would absolutely recommend. It was really well done. Whoever the narrator was very good. And I loved it. I loved a particular character that I didn't like very much in the first one, and I hated a character that I loved in the first one. So it was just interesting showing the human dynamic. It was very powerful, very fun, very sexy. Definitely would recommend to a lot of people. So, Court of Mist and Fury, you're number one. Anyway, so that was my favorite book of 2016. Really based on just the amount of pleasure that I derived from reading it. It was just, it was really fun. It really was. So now let's get into a couple of the bonus books. They weren't my top 5, but they were books that I would still recommend that I really did enjoy reading in 2016. So let's just hop right in. The first two that I'm going to show you are other self-empowerment, self-improvement type books. This one is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I read this I think in 2015 originally, but then I listened to it on audiobook this year twice, and I just thought she was great. She's such a cool lady, and she has a lot of wonderful ideas, and sure, maybe it's not the most original, but the way she puts it together and the way she convinces you that these certain things are important to do and feel in your life was really good, and I like her stories and I like her sense of humor, so would recommend. 5 out of 5 stars. You Are a Badass. The next one is Radical Self-Love by Gala Darling. I really do like her blog. This book was really fun and maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but if you're more of a girly girl, and you want to talk about friendship and happiness and manifestation and love and style and things like that, she kind of combined all of that into this one fun, very pink book. The next 2 books are cookbooks, and those are also at my apartment, so cut away. So one of the 2 supplemental cookbooks that I wanted to talk about is the Sweet Apolita Bake Book, or it could be Sweet Apolita, I'm not really sure. She has a blog online, and then she created this cookbook, and everything is pastel, and I freaking love pastel. If you know me, you know that I love things that make me feel enchanted, like clouds and beautiful flowers and anything that's light blue. And here's one of my favorites, the watercolor graffiti cookies. She just has gorgeous baked goods, and so they taste good too because I've tried a couple of these recipes, but for the most part the point is that they're pretty, and she also has some projects that you can work on with kids, and so that's really fun. Here's a similar watercolor graffiti cake. Anyway, I don't think that a lot of people know about this cookbook, but I would definitely recommend. On the other hand, there's another cookbook that everybody knows about, at least everyone in the plant-based community, and that is Thug Kitchen, Eat Like You Give a Fuck, excuse my language. This is hilarious. It's so funny. As you can see, I'm quite fond of post-it notes and cookbooks because as I'm going through, I read cookbooks just straight through from the start to the finish. So I'll get a new cookbook, I'll open it up and I'll look at all of the recipes and I'll post-it note any that I want to try, and I'll color coordinate it depending on what type of recipe it is. Maybe I'm a little crazy in that way, but recipes not only look delicious, but it's just hilarious. I can't even express to you how funny the authors of this cookbook are. I would definitely recommend just reading through this cookbook. Don't get it if you're offended by language, obviously from the title you can tell that. But essentially it's just a really funny cookbook that also has a lot of really great plant-based recipes in it. Alright, the last book that I want to talk about, I also don't have a physical copy of. So I know this video is kind of all over the place, but I told myself that I wanted to get back into making videos and that it didn't matter as much about the quality. Like if I just did it, that it would be better than not doing it at all. So here I am, sans a book to show you, but the book that I want to talk about is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, I believe. I read this book over Christmas. I gave it to my dad, so that's why I don't have it with me right now and I can't find it. But this book was really good. It was a post-apocalyptic book that followed this acting troupe, and I really appreciated how it talked about humanity and the traits of people and human nature and what people are willing to do when they're trying to survive and how the world would look if there really wasn't technology and electricity and things like that. I really enjoyed it, and her writing style was really fun. I actually read it aloud with my family over Christmas, and it was a really good book to read aloud. It was fun. Her writing style is very fluid, and I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. So anyway, those were my top books of 2016. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm looking forward to seeing you again very soon. I hope that 2017 treats everybody very well. And yeah, until next time, stay happy, stay healthy. Bye!